Hey, Warren Bird with lead author Jim Tomberlin of the book Better Together, How to Make Healthy Church Mergers Work. We've gotten a lot of questions since the book came out. What has changed in merger world and in churches since church culture, since the book came out? Jim Tomberlin, lead us off.
Warren, well, I would say, first of all, a dramatic change for us at Multisite Solutions is that our request for church mergers has dramatically increased since our book came out a few years ago.
And that's not just the book coming out, that's a rise in interest and acceptance of mergers.
Absolutely, that's the issue. And why is this? Because, well, several developments since we published the book. One is that we're seeing across the board a decrease in church attendance nationwide, not only outside the church, but also within the church family, where church people are attending church less. And this is having an impact on churches.
And the implication for mergers is that maybe some churches can handle a decreased attendance by their regulars, but others can't handle it and need to merge.
Yes. And so another development we're seeing, of course, is that church mergers are becoming more an acceptable option for churches of all kinds, struggling and strong churches. When we published the book, Warren, pretty much you remember the consensus was of the past was it was a negative, it was a lose-lose, a non-desirable option. Which has shifted in the last several years is that now a church merger is becoming a viable option for all kinds of churches, struggling churches, stuck churches, and strong churches.
And I think our model of a lead church and a joining church has really helped up the count of the number that end up being a healthy merger as opposed to a lose-lose or a win for one and a lose for the other.
Yes. And of course, as you know, the multi-site church movement is not slowing down. It is continuing to grow. And as that movement grows, church mergers are happening more because, as we researched, we know that a third or more of church multi-site campuses come as a result of a church merger.
Yeah. Okay, those are some of the things that have changed.
One more thing. I think one other thing is that the growing acceptance of having this senior pastor succession conversation and to begin to put together succession plans, the church merger option is becoming a more desirable way to find your future senior pastor from a local pastor in the community whose church is growing, and it could become a viable candidate for a successor.
And yeah, that was one of the surprises in the Leadership Network research for the book, that we suspected that most mergers would occur at the time of a pastoral transition. That's a natural point. And indeed, many do, but not all. And in fact, the book talks about, okay, so if you've got staff staying, how do you best handle that?
Well, that's within the staff. That's if you have a multi-site church and you've got campus pastors, one of those might become your successor. But we're also seeing where I have several examples right now of clients that I'm working with where you have a senior pastor who is looking to retire, and in his community is a younger, newer church plant that they have an affinity with. They're in their network and denomination. Their relationship evolves and grows, and there's a very intentional relationship development of saying, look, I'm looking to retire. I have a building. You're in a church. You're in a school, a temporary facility. You're looking for facility. You've got a handful of people. Your church is growing. We need a pastor. You need a building. Let's talk. And so that's not a multi-site solution. It's just a natural opportunity to find a successor locally that already shares a common geography and culture and is already a proven candidate that's in their community.
Great. Look for more of these videos by Jim Tomberlin, Warren Bird, where we talk about other issues that have come up since the publication of Better Together. Thanks much.